No woman is going to look good forever.
No.
They're going to get pregnant. They're going to get older. To me, telling women that you are too fat or too small or too broke, and that's the reason why you don't have a man, that is psychopathological and it is destructive to our community. I did not agree with his approach at all. And the fact that he did have a lot of people who did speaks to how decadent and speaks to how self-hating we can be as a people. And
Dr. Umar, why would you pull a stunt like this?
Oh, Mr. Tyrone. First gotta get freaky for you because you love the hoes.
I don't care if they don't like me. I came here to stunt. Yeah. I don't care if they don't.
Well, what's good, everybody? If you're first time viewing my content or this video, make sure you like the video and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Shout out to everybody who be supporting the content. Make sure you like the video, all right? For real. Helps out with the algorithm. What we are going to be discussing today is Mr. Dr. Umar Johnson has some things that he has said about Mr. Kevin Samuels, rest in power to him. And I don't know how far back or how long this particular interview was or who he is interviewing with. But basically he has some things to say about Mr. Kevin Samuels, and this has some red pill men in a rouser. So, without further ado, let's get into it.
I didn't support it at all.
Okay.
I thought it was divisive. I thought it was very Eurocentric in his approach to criticism. I think his expectations for women were very superficial in terms of what was important. There was a heavy focus on how much you make and how good you look. No woman is going to look good forever.
No.
They're going to get pregnant. They're going to get older. To me, telling women that you are too fat or too small or too broke, and that's the reason why you don't have a man, that is psychopathological and it is destructive to our community. I did not agree with his approach at all. And the fact that he did have a lot of people who did speaks to how decadent and speaks to how self-hating we can be as a people. And I'll be honest with you. I think a lot of the women who supported Kevin Samuels supported him because they don't like other black women, and they enjoyed sitting back on their couch, sipping their tea, and watch this black man tear black women's self-esteem to shreds.
No, Dr. Umar. What is going on? Oh my goodness, Dr. Umar, what? Let's play this back.
I didn't support it at all.
Okay.
I thought it was divisive.
Let's deal with that. Let's deal with the first 5 seconds. Divisive how? How was Kevin Samuels' approach divisive? I'm not somebody to support or be like a big fan of Kevin Samuels. I've said this many times in my videos, right? I don't have to reiterate that. But what did he say that was divisive? He's said in numerous interviews, he's said on numerous live streams that his goal is to have the black family be rebuilt. To have men and women hold themselves accountable and build and create functional households and functional relationships. And with that being known and with that being said and with that also being notified, there has to be some things that are under the rug that has to be specified. Concerning weight, concerning the way that you dress, concerning salary, concerning personality, concerning the way that you go about things, communication. A lot of things play at hand with a relationship. Let's continue.
I thought it was very Eurocentric in his approach to criticism. I think his expectations for women were very superficial in terms of what was important.
Okay. Now, Dr. Umar, let's understand that I can't let you get by with the word Eurocentric. Okay. Now, you could say, the way that he was going about things was a little bit westernized because he's an image consultant in America. But we don't live in the central coast of Africa. Okay. You have to be a little realistic here. We're not going to perceive women the same way that men in the Ivory Coast of Africa perceive their women. different cultures, different values, different traditions. Okay? We live in America. There are certain standards, certain traditional values, cultural values that we have in America. So I think it's a little disingenuous to use the word Eurocentric. That's just me, though. Let's continue.
Was a heavy focus on how much you make and how good you look.
Now, he never penalized women for how much they make and how much they look. He was telling women that if you want a certain type of man, of a certain value and status, that what you make, what you do, and how you look plays a hand in that, because the 1% of men, according to the narrative of Kevin Samuels, the 1% of men don't want a woman who's a dancer. He's not going to go for the average, what they call the average Mary Jane, whatever the case is. He's not going to go for a woman over the age of 30 who got multiple kids with different men. He wants somebody who is young or who is ambitious, who got her life together, those type of things. And he was giving them a reality check. That's why he told the woman, you're average at best. Imagine somebody going viral for telling a woman that she's average. A black woman at that. That's what was going on here. But let's continue.
No woman is going to look good forever.
No.
They're going to get pregnant. They're going to get older. To me, telling women that you are too fat or too small or too broke, and that's the reason why you don't have a man, that is psychopathological and it is destructive to our community. I did not agree with his approach at all. And the fact that he did have a lot of people who did speaks to how decadent and speaks to how self-hating we can be as a people. And I'll be honest with you, I think a lot of the women who supported Kevin Samuels supported him because they don't like other black women, and they enjoyed sitting back on.
Listen, we go back to what he was talking about, telling a woman that she's too big, too small, or too broke, whatever the case is, those type of things. He said that he felt like that it was pathological, psychopathological and destructive to black people. If we can't be realistic about who we are and what we are, and realistic about what type of men that we try to pursue and go for, and how that doesn't go in alignment with who we are, what are we doing? Our main issue in our community is accountability. And if we can't take accountability for the type of values and standards that we delude ourselves into having, then we have an issue, Dr. Umar. We have an accountability issue. And if we can't hold, if us as black men, if we can't hold black women accountable, if we can't uphold and also hold our women accountable, right? If we can't uphold our women and also hold our women accountable, who will? You know? And somebody, there was a quote that I heard from somebody. It was a quote that I heard from somebody. Is like, if you can't correct her, don't compliment her. If you can't correct her, don't bless her. If you can't hold a woman accountable, if you can't correct her, if you can't be that way towards a woman that you find interest in, there shouldn't be anything going on between y'all to begin with. Because if you're dealing with a woman that can't take accountability for who she is, if she can't take accountability for how she goes about on an everyday basis, for how she keeps her body in check, her personality, how she treats men, you know, her type of occupation, all these things you have to keep in mind of with the type of men that you want to go for. There are some women out here that have been deluded with this Disney narrative of them thinking that they can get a Michael B. Jordan, and yet they the average woman at a strip club. Which is nothing wrong with you working at the strip club, but do you think Michael B. Jordan wants a woman at the strip club? You see what I'm saying? These are things you just have to, maybe Drake, maybe Rick Ross, but Michael B. I'm just saying, things you just have to keep in mind. And that's what all Kevin Samuels was giving women a reality check. And so for people to look at that and then be like, I can't get with that, I just have to look at you. I got to side eye you. I'm not saying I'm side eyeing Dr. Umar, But I think it's just with Dr. Umar and the way that he uplifts black women so much to a certain point that sometimes he becomes blinded by the actual setting of what Kevin Samuels was bringing into place. That's just me though. We cannot be out here and, feeding delusion to black women, making them believe that they can be all these queens and goddesses and stuff like that, and refuse to take accountability, refuse to uphold their own women and themselves to a certain standard. They refuse to appreciate and respect their own black men. All this type of stuff. That's what Kevin Samuels was bringing out. And I said this in a video, not the last time I was talking about Kevin Samuels, but the time before. I don't try to hold people to a standard where if you don't agree with Kevin Samuels, then you're a red flag, right? But it brings a big question mark in my head when I hear a woman talk about, I can't get down with anything Kevin Samuels said. He hated women, this and this and this. I just sit there and I just like, really? If a woman comes to you and tells you that she dislikes it, it's not to say that shows her whole character, but it shows you where her mind is, right? It's like if somebody comes to you and be like, I can't stand Michael Jackson music. Like, that would just set you, that would make you go crazy. Like, what? You don't like Michael Jackson? Who doesn't like Michael Jackson? Hey, pretty baby with the high heels on. You give me fever like I never ever know. Come on. You know what I mean? Do you remember the times when we fell in love? Do you remember? Those type of things. Somebody tell you, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, they don't even know how to play like that. That set you off. So like for somebody who, like, if you know Kevin Samuels' content, if you've seen his live streams and you watch back his clips back to back to back, and somebody tells you who just uninformed, who just doesn't really listen to Kevin Samuels, never listened to Kevin Samuels, just say something outrageous like what Dr. Umar said, it really brings some things into question. Like, where's your mind at? Why? How did you come to this conclusion? Why would you say these type of things? Because for anybody who has watched Kevin Samuels, you understand where he came at when it came to information and relationships. Now, I'm going to have videos concerning the basis of Kevin Samuels and my perspectives and stuff. I'll have those linked at the very end of this video. Because it would just take more time than necessary in this video to express and talk about, my perspectives on Kevin Samuels and all those type of things. But what I will say is that Dr. Umar, I love his content, right? I love Dr. Umar and his content and what he's doing for black people. I have a video, actually, I've done a reaction video just recently on him being on another podcast concerning just talking about different topics and activism, all that type of stuff. So I have a video coming out soon with talking about Dr. Umar. But it's just very disingenuous to say those type of things. And I understand his Afrocentric mindset. I understand Afrocentrism and pro-black and unapologetic, all that type of stuff. You're dealing with somebody who was the forerunner for that, all right? I understand where he's getting at with that. But you also have to understand the type of society in which we live in. You have to understand that the way that we see our women and uphold them to a certain pedestal or standard is different from how, whatever you want to call it, the Afrocentric way. I don't think holding women accountable to how they dress, holding women accountable to how they keep their body in shape, holding women accountable to what type of occupation they like to, endeavor in. I don't think it's wrong to give women a reality check. Like, that's fine. That's cool. And Kevin Samuels has made it known to many women, listen, there's nothing wrong with how you want to dress, how you want to look, how you want to live your life. But if you want a certain type of man, you're going to have to change some things. And that's all Kevin Samuels was saying. So for Dr. Umar to come out with this, crazy. Anyways, Y'all let me know how y'all feel about this. Respectfully in the comment section below, concerning the whole matters at hand. All right. Don't forget to like the video, helps out with the algorithm. Share this video with other people just so that we can spread the news concerning the matters of these type of topics. And before you go, like I said a few minutes ago, I have videos on Kevin Samuels. Check them out.